some faux chocolates, and how I'm going to do that is with lace. I've got a little piece of lace and my heart cutter set. I've got a fluffy brush here and this little guy for cleanup. I've got a color palette of micas, and then I'm going to show you how to mix a nice chocolatey color. So here is some burnt umber. This is Primo. I like to get this color in big blocks because I use a lot of it. So that's that, and I've got some black, and then this is Souffle, and the color is Cowboy. And that color is kind of a nice maybe milk chocolate color all by itself. And I sort of felt like the umber color was too warm. And then of course chocolate isn't really black. But I'm going to do one in just the Cowboy, and then I'm going to mix together a bit of these colors to get a deep brown color, and then probably a little bit of black to deepen it so that I can get a dark chocolate color. So I'm just going to roll these up. All right, so I mixed it up, and what I ended up with is using a lot of that black. So it was probably about 1/3 Cowboy, 1/3 burnt umber, and 1/3 black to get this darker sort of cocoa color. So now I've got my milk chocolate and my dark chocolate, and let's make some hearts. So I'm going to use my plastic wrap technique to get a nice clean heart, because one of the things I want to do here is stack this clay. I want my piece of chocolate to be a little thicker, so I'm going to do it out of 2 pieces stacked. And just be gentle with your 3D printed cutters, especially going through big lumps of clay like this. So the plastic wrap helps you get a nice clean cut, and it also kind of rounds the shape. See that? It's like beveled edges. And the reason I have this tool here is to clean up any leftover edges that happen sometimes when you do a cutout like that. All right, so I've got my 3 hearts now. I cut one out of each, and just for fun, I did one out of the plain burnt umber color. So I've got my mixed dark, my Cowboy color, and my burnt umber brown. And I've got my pink palette and my piece of lace. So this is really simple stuff here, but it looks cool. So all you have to do to create a really fun heart. Now you can press this down hard if you want to have the lace texture, or you can just lay it gently over if you just want it to be a mask. I'm going to press it in because I like that idea of having the texture and the color on there together. And then I'm just going to use a brush to put on some fun color. And yes, it is going to color your lace. I'm also going to do one with liquid Sculpey, and for that I'm going to use Punchinella because I don't want to ruin my lace with the liquid Sculpey and have it something I can't use again. And the liquid Sculpey would definitely get in there, and I wouldn't be able to use this piece of lace for anything but liquid Sculpey. So for that, I would say, you know, use something that's definitely reusable. Like Punchinella, you can clean the liquid Sculpey off of that. Now this is mica powder, and it is American, nice, cosmetic quality mica powder. So it's safe, and it's in this palette that's not tippable, so all your colors stay together. This is just something that we created so that we would have an easy way of storing and using our powders. But you can use any kind of mica powder for a project like this. Pearl-X powders is another name for it. Perfect Pearls is another type of mica pigment that has some resin in it that helps it stick to the clay. And basically what you get is this fun lacy looking thing. With the different colors on it, and then you can just bake it, and because the clay is sticky, the mica will stick to the clay. So there's one way of doing that. And then another thing you could try, like this one is very symmetrical. So I'm going to pick one of these flowers and put it right in the middle. And I don't know about you, but I've seen some really fancy chocolates at Valentine's time. So for this one, I'm going to use my dewdrop ink. This is a Galaxy Gold dewdrop, and the color is beautiful, and it's heat set, so you want to do this before baking. And I'm just pouncing it on right over the lace. And the lace just acts as a mask. And then what you could do, since this is actual cotton lace, is just take it to the sink and rinse it out with some soap and water, and most of that ink will come off. And because it's heat set, you could come back in here and you could maybe decide that you want to add a little different color to it with your mica, maybe in a couple different spots. Jazz it up a little. I'm always one for jazzing things up with color. And the mica will stick to the areas that are inked also, because the ink is not dry until you bake it. Okay, and then for this one, I've got some punchinella here, and that is a small, it's just like a small stencil. So you can put that right onto your heart and press it down. You kind of want to get it stuck on there for this technique. Because I'm going to take some liquid Sculpey, and that comes in a bottle like this. This is liquid bakeable medium. So this color is gold, but I have my white in this unmarked bottle. So like a white frosting or glaze, or like a ganache. Just a little white flavoring on there. And it's been cold in my studio, so usually your bakeable Sculpey medium is pretty runny. So you'd be able to do this quick. All right, and now I've got my little chocolate with the design on there. And I'm going to bake these and then come back to them and see if there's anything else that I would like to add. Now don't forget at this point, if you are if you're planning on turning these into pendants, you might want to put your holes in there now. I'm thinking I might turn these into pins or something of that nature, so I'm not going to put holes in them. So I'll be back. These are fresh right out of the oven, so I'm not going to touch them, but what I wanted to show you was One of them, this one I think I want to do with a shine on it. So this is Sculpey Clear liquid clay, and while this is all, hang on, this is a new bottle. Gotta pull that out. So while this is hot, I'm gonna put this on here. And because it's mica, I'm gonna try not to touch it too much because I don't want it to smear. I'm going to let it drip over the edge, that's fine. I think it might look more chocolatey if it does. Okay, and then I've got a heat gun. And I'm going to blast this with heat right now while it's hot because the Sculpey wants to be 300 degrees to set right. So I'm not worried too much about this piece that was on the tile because that's not important to my project, but look at this. It's beautiful and glass-like. That took about 30 seconds with my heat gun. It's still hot, so I'm not going to touch it, but you can see down into the depths. It just makes your projects look really cool. So because this is chocolate, yeah, it's hot, I'm going to leave those drips. I think they make it look more edible. And then this one, the clear liquid clay dried matte, and I love it. I think it also makes it look like a chocolate confection with sugar on it. And then this one, I'm going to use my gold Sculpey on this one to just do a little decorating. So the colors with mica in them, like gold and silver, they have a little bit more sort of density to them. So they'll kind of stay where you put them. So I'm just going to do a little line work and have fun with it. Maybe outline the top of the heart, maybe outline the whole thing like a, this is a really fancy chocolate. And then of course this would go back in the oven. And you always bake your Sculpey clays for half an hour at 275. The liquid clays like 300. So I would bake my piece thoroughly at 275 and then add the liquid clay and go up to 300 to set that liquid. And here's a knitting needle in case you need to clean anything up. Blend lines together, whatever you want to do. So I hope that you enjoyed these ideas. A little bit of an idea for how you could make some chocolatey confections for this fun time of year. And come on back next time and check out Polymer Clay TV. We always try to do fun projects, and if you join us online in our Polymer Clay Tribe, which you can find at polymerclaytribe.com, you can ask questions and we will answer them to the best of our ability on the show or right there in the tribe. So we'll see you next time.